Scrappy people, Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a quick video in Photoshop before we move over to real life. I am making a quick and easy traveler's notebook size or life crafted size page today, and I have this photo of my kittens, and I'm using the Maya Oasis collection, the printable collection on my website. There's a link in the description box below, but I wanted to add some digital mixed media on the photo before I printed it. I have this photo cropped to life crafted size, which is 5 inches wide out of the pocket, 5 inches wide by 8.25 inches tall. And I want to take this empty space right here and I want to add some mixed media as a placeholder or a place to put my title, which I will be creating with the stickers from the My Oasis collection. But the mixed media in the My Oasis collection is always going to be in the digital kit, in the embellishments. And so I have these two pieces of mixed media here that I'm going to be layering together to create sort of like a border, I guess, in the middle of the page. It's going to go from edge to edge. So I'm going to open up both of these pieces of mixed media. I'm just going to drag and drop them directly onto my canvas. And I want the blue piece to be in the middle of the canvas, and I want the pink piece to be on both edges of the canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn the blue one off for a second, and I'm going to make the pink one a little bit smaller so that the writing isn't as big. I'm going to move everything over to the side. It's going to go off the edge here. I don't want any of this white stuff to interfere with the cat's head, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that there. And then I'm going to turn the blue one back on so I can see it, and it's actually pretty much going to stay right directly in the middle. But because there's nothing on this edge, I'm actually just going to duplicate the first mixed media. So I'm just going to hit Control or Command J, and then I'm going to drag it over to the other side. Now I don't really want these two pieces of text to be at the same level. So I'm actually going to move it up a little bit so that we just have a little bit of variation in where the text is going. Move everything around a little bit. Now, if this mixed media, because it is the same like tonal range as the photo, if it's not showing up as well as you would like, what's really cool about Photoshop is you can just duplicate the layer and it will automatically make the paint more opaque if it has any sort of opacity to it. So this paint is supposed to look like watercolor, so it is not completely opaque, it is transparent. So if you can see, if I turn it back off again, it gets a lot lighter. You can do that as many times as you want. You can make it as dark as you want until it's like fully opaque, but I just want it painted twice. Perfect. And now I can just print out this photo on 8.5 by 11 paper, and it is ready for me to put my title with stickers in the middle. Now what I'm also going to do before I print this page or print this photo is I'm actually going to plan for the left hand or the right hand side of the layout too, and I'm just going to be using Traveler's Notebook signatures for the right hand side because the Traveler's Notebook signatures are meant to be very easy to use, and I want to add some journaling. So I'm going to actually make my canvas larger. So we're going to make it 10 inches wide, which is a whole, oops, not the image size, the canvas size, which is Command Option C for canvas. I'm going to make the canvas size 10 inches, which is a full life crafted spread. The height doesn't change. Oh, make sure before you do that, you turn off or you unlock the bottom layer so that it doesn't give you a white border, it gives you transparent border. And then you're going to want to set the anchor point to the left hand side so the new 5 inches that you're adding actually goes to the right hand side. Didn't do that right the first time. There we go. I'm going to clip the paint to my photo so it doesn't interfere with the other side. And then I'm going to use a Traveler's Notebook signature from the My Oasis collection to add my journaling. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop that in, and I'm going to anchor it all the way to the right hand side of the spread, and you can see because the Traveler's Notebook signature is 4.25 inches wide instead of 5, it's actual Traveler's Notebook size. I have a strip here in the middle where I need to add some pattern or something else, so I'm actually going to go ahead and open up the Traveler's Notebook papers, and I'm going to add the striped paper right to the middle. Now I already have these papers printed. I'm just planning out what I'm gonna do here, just because sometimes I like to do that when I am doing especially things that are really simple like this, just so that I know where I'm headed. And I also want to add the journaling to this Traveler's Notebook signature, and I'm going to run it through my printer, the already printed one. I'm gonna run it through my printer, but if I set it up in Photoshop beforehand, then when I run it through my printer, it will print exactly where I want it to on this page. Now I am going to go ahead and just show you how to do that because I like to show you digital tricks, because I think that everybody should have some digital tools in their arsenal. So I drew a text box. It's basically the width of the notebook paper, and of course it went under, there we go. And I like my text to use a typewriter font at 12 point, so I'm going to go ahead and set it to 12 point. And I actually need to rotate this text box because the notebook paper is rotated on this Traveler's Notebook signature just slightly, so I need to rotate it so that it matches the rotation of the notebook paper. And then I'm going to make it a little bit skinnier. If I hold down Option or Alt while I click and drag from the side, it will click and drag both sides at the same time. So it's dragging in from both sides. And then the last thing that I need to do is I need to make it so that the text sits on top of the line. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this down so that this first line is sitting on top of, or the first line of text is sitting on top of the first line. Then I'm going to select all of them, Command A or Control A, and then I'm actually going to change the spacing between the lines until all of the lines of text sit on the lines of the notebook paper. So you can see if I go to 19, it's too much. If I come back here, that's better. Now I can go ahead and add in all of my text around the, there we go, around the icons that are already on the page. Now I am going to actually cover these up with some stickers when I go ahead and put this together, but that is where I'm starting. So now I can go ahead and print this directly on the paper that's already printed by just using washi tape and putting it on the center of a 8.5 by 11 paper. I always like to print like a test on 8.5 by 11 paper so that I have this all like printed out and ready to go, so that I can just take the one that's already printed and put it right over the top of it, and it aligns the text perfectly. So let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna go print all this out and we're gonna hop over to real life. All right, so we are ready to finish this page. It's gonna be a super quick one because it's already almost done. So you can see the mixed media on the photo came out real nice, and it's a great place for me to put my title that I'm going to be building. And then also this is how I printed out or made sure that I could print out the text aligned perfectly on this pre-printed Traveler's Notebook page. So I went ahead and printed it out as a draft, just a real fast black and white draft, and then washied it directly over the draft so that when I sent it through the printer again, it printed just the words. I turned off the layer that had the actual Traveler's Notebook signature on it and printed just the words onto the page. So here we go. Let's finish this up real quick and easy. I have a strip of that patterned striped paper right here. I have a little bit of white edge here that I want to cut off. I have a strip of the patterned white paper. I had just enough, or patterned white paper, patterned striped paper. I had just enough to finish off this page. So I'm actually just going to use this page as an alignment tool to make sure that I get it exactly 5 inches wide, because that is a little bit wider than I need right here. So So I'm gonna add some adhesive, and then I'm gonna align the other corner. Oops, the other corner. Make sure it's all lined up. I mean, I could do this on a paper trimmer or whatever, and it would probably be easier, but I'm too lazy to get out a paper trimmer. There we go. Okay. Now I'm gonna align, goodness, the other corner to the other corner of the photo. So we're exactly 5 inches wide, and then stick it down. Perfect. We are already almost done. I love quick and easy pages that are still like impactful, still cute and pretty. One of my favorite ways to do that is with a large photo when I love a photo. I did love this photo, but I felt like, even though I do love my egg chair that they love to sit in, I did feel like it was a little bit overwhelming in the photo. So a good way to offset that was to add in all of that mixed media, digital mixed media, so that it covered it up some. Okay, lastly, let's take some embellishments, and I'm going to cover this up, and then I'm going to add the title over here. So I have this for my title, so let's separate that. And then I just want to like take this home as my happy place, and maybe this rainbow right here. And I'm just covering up like the letter that was there. First of all, it changes up, you know, the way that it looks, because I've used this paper before in a few places in my album. So it covers up the way that it looks so that it, you know, it looks different. Not that anyone's going to compare all of my different albums, but you know, it makes it different. But also it customizes the sentiment a little bit so that it works better for my page. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this under here, and I'm gonna tilt the whole thing just a little bit to go with the tilt of the notebook paper. And I'm actually gonna pop up the happy place sentiment just to give this a little lift, because I'm really not gonna be adding any sort of extra stuff here, because I feel like the mixed media and the collections like speaks for itself. So because I'm not adding any extra stuff, let's add a little bit of volume to this page with some, with some foam tape, so that just lifts it up off the page a little. I wish I had a little bit thinner foam tape. I love this foam tape, it's really cool, but I don't love how thick it is in a traveler's notebook specifically. So that kind of sucks. Sorry, I slammed my scissors down. I always forget when I am talking to be careful with these scissors that are so loud. This is what my family hears. Clank, clack, drops, clatter when I'm scrapbooking. I think my husband's actually written a poem about it before, about how he knows when I'm up and scrapbooking because he can hear me from upstairs with all my tools. Okay, now that I've got all of that popped up, or at least as much as it's going to be, I'm gonna put this down first, and then I will put that other sticker. Where did it go? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Underneath it afterwards. Okay. So I want it to kind of sit up here. Don't cover up the words. Perfect. See how that just gives it a little bit of shadow and depth, and it makes it really cool looking? Now pull it up just slightly and stick this underneath it. And now we've got ourselves a bohemian cluster to match our bohemian chair over here. Now let's finish up with, this says home, and then this word bit says home is wherever I'm with you. So I'm actually going to cut off the second home because we don't need it to repeat. And then I'm gonna wrap this moon around home. So I want like it to sit like this so that the top of the moon goes over the home and the bottom of the moon goes under it. So that way you can still read it. And then I'm gonna tuck in is wherever I'm with you. Let's see, want it to stick out that far, so we're gonna tuck it on top of, yeah, it's gonna go on top of the moon. Then I'm just gonna stick it down all as one piece, making sure that this is still legible right in the center of the page. Actually, should I go on top? That should be underneath, but should I maybe weave it in and out? Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick it right in the middle of all of that mixed media. Dun, da, da, da. Straighten this out a little bit. Perfect. That is cute. A little bit more glue here. And so, with just a little bit of digital mixed media, we have taken this page and made a super simple page. Obviously, this came together so fast. This was already done for us. We just needed the paper strip and a little cluster here. And then the mixed media made it just like pop that little bit more, gives it a little bit more personalized of a touch, and we are good to go. Look at that. If you enjoyed this video, this tutorial, let me know in the comment section below, because I feel like my niche should be showing you how to use digital tools for your paper advantage. Like, obviously, if you're a digital scrapbooker, you're gonna want them too. But like, if you are a paper scrapbooker, you can do this. Like, you can up your game, level up your pages with just a few little digital tricks. And I feel like that is something I would like to teach people, but only if you're interested in it. So let me know in the comments if you are interested in this kind of tutorial, if it is something that you'd want to do on your own pages, or even if it's not, just tell me, let me know. And if you guys don't want this, I won't do it anymore. All right. As always, you can find me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy Emery. There is a link in the description box below to the My Oasis collection if you want to recreate this page. And I will see you next time. Thank you.